Hi, I hope that you're extremely good. On this lesson, I'm going to teach you quadratic formula. And I want to take note of this. Quadratic formula is only applicable on quadratic equations. Meaning to say, you can only use quadratic formula if you are solving a quadratic equation. What is a quadratic equation? Quadratic equation is just an equation that will be having 2 as its highest power. Quadratic formula, it states that minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac everything over 2a. I did not use any algebraic term here. Why? Because I know that if I have used, let's say, x, as you are addicted to x. I know all of you are addicted to x. Right? If I have used x equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If your quadratic equation is not having x, you start now to assume that maybe quadratic formula is not applicable. It will be applicable as long as it will be a quadratic equation. For instance, let's say you have 3m squared plus 10m minus 7 equal to 0, like this. This is a quadratic equation. Why? Because the highest power is 2 and it's not x. So if it's not x like this, you're going now to say m is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, I hope that you have watched the lesson that I was explaining the quadratic form and how to identify a, b, c, and d. If you are given it like this, it's very easy for you to identify them. You can just write a, b, and c like this. And our a is 3, our b is positive 10, and our c is negative 7. Then you just substitute on your quadratic formula. As you can see, minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You substitute the values of a, b, and c. Let us do it. So it will be m is equal to minus b, which is minus 10, plus or minus square root of b squared, which is 10 squared, minus 4, our a is 3, and our c is negative 7. Everything over 2a, our a, which is 3. When you do this, you then simplify. I want to take note of this. If your b is carrying a negative sign, if your b is having a negative sign, it means this will change. This 10, if it was negative 10 here, this 10 was going to be positive 10. Why? Because there is already a negative sign on our formula. So negative and negative, you get a positive. Remember, negative times negative is positive. So if it was minus 10 here, it was going to be positive 10 here. Let us try to simplify this. It will be now m equal to minus 10 plus or minus square root of, what is 10 squared? That is 100. Square root of 100 minus, then you simplify this. Because there are two negatives here, it means you are going to end up with a positive. So this minus that I have written here, it will be positive, right? 4 times 3, that is 12. Then 12 times 7. When you get your answer, because there is a negative, minus, okay, 4 times 3, that is 12, which is minus 12 because of this negative. Minus 12 times minus 7, your answer will be having a positive sign. Right. Let me use calculator. 12 times 7, that will be 84. So it will be positive 84 here because of the negatives. Minus 12 minus 7, it will be positive 84 over 3 times 2 or 2 times 3, that is 6. Now the last part, that is the one that I want you to understand. So here it's going to be minus 10 plus or minus square root of 184 all over 6. Because of my space, let me erase here. Going to erase here. So it's going to be m equal to minus 10 plus or minus square root of 184 over 6, like this. Then the last part, I want you to take note of the last part. You are going to split it because it is a quadratic equation. It means you are going to have two answers. So you will split it now. You split it, then it will be m equal to minus 10 plus square root of 184 over 6, or minus 10 minus square root of 184, my space is not enough, over 6, like this. The first one, you can use a positive sign, and then the second one, you use a negative sign. Minus 10 minus square root of 184 over 6. Now, because we don't know the square root of 184, you use a calculator, right? So it will be minus 10 plus square root of 184. You can punch equal sign depending on what or which calculator you'll be using, divided by 6. Right, I'm going to repeat again for me to see if I will get the same answer. Minus 10 plus square root of 184 divided by 6. Yeah, I still get the same answer. Because many syllabuses, they want you to leave your answers to 3 decimal places, 2 decimal places, or 1 decimal place, depending on what you will be told. I'm just going to leave this to 3 decimal places, so it will be 0,594. But you first write all the numbers that are going to come out of a calculator, then you round it off later. So m is equals to 0,59410. There are so many numbers. So if you round this off to 3 decimal places, it will be now 0,594. Or then you are going to punch that on a calculator as well. If you punch it on a calculator, minus 10 plus, no, it's not plus, it's minus. Minus 10 minus root 184 equal, then you divide it by 6. I'm going to punch it again to make sure that I will still have the same answer. I hope that you have watched the video that I was explaining how to use a calculator. Minus 10 minus root 184 equals divided by 6. You must make sure that you do this twice to avoid errors, right? Minus 3, 2, not 2, 927, there's a 9 here, minus 3,927, then 4. If you run this to 3 decimal places as well, it's gonna be or minus 3,927, like this. Remember, if you are rounding off to 3 decimal places, you look at the 4th decimal place, then you either round up or round down. I hope that you completely understand how to use quadratic formula to solve quadratic equation. Remember, mathematics was not difficult, is not difficult, and will never be difficult, even if only you stay focused. So you should stay focused.